Did you see this video? I think it's disturbing, personally, of Senator Alsobrooks. It's a woman, an African-American woman, and she's questioning RFK Jr. for the nomination of Secretary of Health. And she's reading quotes from some documents about vaccines. And he says that in this document, he said that black people don't need so much vaccination because they don't have as many antigens.
The particular antigens that blacks have a much stronger reaction.
They don't, something about the antigens in black people is different than the ones in white people. So the distribution of vaccination should be different. So black people, it's like that same thing where they say black women don't feel pain in hospitals, especially during pregnancies and shit. That's why they barely give them any medicine for pain. And that's why a lot of black women die in hospitals. There's a lot of mortality, black baby mortalities in hospitals because of the treatment of African Americans. And this has been going on for a long time, how they've treated black people in medicine. They have been horrific. You know, the Dr. Mims guy, what's that guy? Dr. Mims, who was the father of gynecology. They just took down his statue in New York City. He would do experiments on black women slaves, gynecological experiments on black women slaves with no anesthesia. All these different doctors would just literally sexually abuse black women slaves so they can get studies on gynecology. And then they would put them in medical books and pretend like they worked on white women, which is unbelievably, horrifically atrocious as shit. This has been the history of the medical field. I mean, just recently there was a woman that was breaking black baby bones. Who's this cunt that did this shit? But she was a nurse who was breaking bones of African American babies, black babies. This cunt, who I hope rots in hell and gets the same thing done to her in hell. So a lot of times African Americans go to hospitals, they don't want to go. If you talk to old African American people, old black people, they go, I don't want to go to no hospital. I don't want to go to no hospital. Even Richard Pryor said it. He said, I don't want to die in a hospital shit. I want to be in the street where someone could see my ass. That's real shit. So RFK answers this question going, I didn't say that. What I said was, I said that black people don't have as many antigens, and I didn't really mean it like that. This is the guy that's supposed to be the Secretary of Health with that voice. With that voice.
There's a series of studies, I think most of them by Poland.
Huh? Are you teaching singing lessons too? I want to teach you how to sing. I'm not trying to make fun of the guy, but I just think it's ironic and weird that he is going to be supposedly going to be the Secretary of Health. And does he sound like he is anything of health? No, I think blacks are, listen, blacks are magical. You guys are kind of magical. I mean, come on, look at your sports, your athletics. You guys barely aged, so I just think you guys are kind of like superheroes to me. I didn't mean to say it's not racist. I'm not racist. My father wasn't racist. His brother wasn't racist. But what I'm saying is that black people you guys don't ever get sick, ever. It's what I'm saying. The fuck out of here. You know that TV show Grey's Anatomy? Well, you know it comes from the actual book, Grey's Anatomy, which you have to study in medical school, nursing school. I was a pre-med psych major in college, so I had to study, Grey's Anatomy book. Well, the way they got all the information, when you open the book, it's all the different muscles. It shows the muscles and the veins, the heart, the lung. It shows everything. The bones, you can learn everything, all the inner workings of the body. Here's what's hilarious. Not even funny, actually. They got the information by buying slaves back in the early 1900s. They would buy slave bodies like it was cattle. And they would do all kinds of horrible experiments on the skin to see how the skin reacts to different poisons and shit like that. The heart, they would just do all of these different types of experiments on men, black women, slaves, with no anesthesia, no nothing. This is what they would do. And then after they would get all their experiments and all of their information, they would go back to the books, to the medical journals and Grey's Anatomy book, and they would draw white bodies. All the bodies were white, if you notice that. but they got all their information from cutting up and mutilating black bodies. And then they would lie in the medical journals like saying, hey, yeah, we used white men, white women, all lies. There's a book. You can read it. It's called Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington. Harriet Washington, not Tubman, Washington. You got to see it. It's really thorough. You're going to be mad as shit. And I'm telling everybody to read it. Black, white, all of you read it so you can get the information and understand, since it's Black History Month.